Namaste, good morning.
Namaste, good morning.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Yeah, good. I'm good as well. Okay, let's start with the session. Before we start, we'll chant one prayer and one Om. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. What have we studied yesterday about the musculoskeletal movement of joints? Again, today we will see and continue with the musculoskeletal movement of joints. But today we will see the joints in our legs. Yesterday we have seen the joints in our arms. Okay. And we have seen the shoulder joint, elbow joint, and the wrist joint. All the actions which is being made by these important joints, as well as these muscles which make the joints move in that certain direction. So direction movements about the hip joint today. So today we're gonna see about the hip bone joint. We have one more student, but I don't think. Can you see someone on the screen?
Yeah, the iPhone.
Oh, okay, but that iPhone is still connecting to audio. On the screen, I can see. Anyway, I hope I'm audible for that person. Now we have the hip bone joint. Hip bone joint is an example of which type of joint? First, tell me this, if you remember. Hip bone joint is an example of what type of synovial bone joint? Yes, Naringa, I am asking you.
I don't understand the question. What question is it?
Hip joint. Our hip joint is an example of which specific type of joint?
Oh God.
Ball and
Socket.
yes. So hip joint is an example of ball and socket bone joint. Now, first, flexion movement of the hip bone joint. That means how do we flex our hip? So when we bring our leg completely up or straight, that is what? The
Flexion.
flexion movement of the hip bone joint. So when we bring our leg in the front of our body, or whenever we lie down on our back, if we lie down here on our back and we raise our leg up, that is also the hip flexion. If we fold our leg and hug our knee, that is also will bring our hip flexion movement here. And in this hip flexion movement, the muscles which get engaged or the muscles which help The flexion movement of hip joints are iliopsoas muscles as well as rectus femoris muscle. Iliopsoas muscles as well as rectus femoris muscle are the two muscles. Iliopsoas is a deep muscle which starts or originates from the pelvic and our lumbar region, and it ends in our femur, where our rectus femoris muscle is also originating from the pelvic and the femur, but it ends in our tibia. Tibia means in our shin. So these muscles, rectus femoris and iliopsoas, help in the flexion movement of our hip bone joint. Where is rectus femoris? On the top in front of our thighs. And where is iliopsoas? Again, it starts from the pelvic or our lumbar in both, and it ends in our femur, that is on our thigh. So, which is the point of insertion where the muscle ends? Our pelvic and our lumbar is the part of axial skeletal system. Our femur bone and the tibia bone is the part of appendicular skeletal system. And the bones in the appendicular skeletal system, we can move it easily. But the bones in our pelvic and in our lumbar or in the axial skeletal system, which we cannot move, that is stationary. In our head, neck, ribs, spine, this is stationary bone. Whatever the muscles we are moving with the help of the appendicular skeletal attached to the muscles with the help of the tendons. So the bones in the appendicular skeletal, which are connected to the muscles with the help of the tendons, are the moving part. This is not the stationary part. So this is what the point of insertion. So these two is the flexion movement. Hip joint. Now, hip joint also has extension movement. In hip extension movement, first muscle is the gluteus maximus muscle, where the gluteus maximus muscle, it starts from the pelvic and the sacrum and it ends in our femur. So from starting from our pelvic or our sacrum region, that is the last part of our spine, in our sacral chakra, this muscle will end in our femur on the back of our buttock, the maximus muscle. Apart from this, we have the group of hamstrings muscles. So the group of hamstrings muscles are also responsible for the hip extension movement. Can you tell me what are this group of hamstrings muscles?
The hamstring is the three muscles, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and biceps femoris.
Yes. So semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and biceps femoris are the hamstrings which get contracted with the hip extension movement, or with the help of this hamstring, our hip extension movement occurs. I am not saying that we have to stretch our hamstrings here. This is not the hamstring stretch. Hamstring stretch will occur when we do hip flexion, but the hamstring contract engagement will happen when we do hip extension. That means we stand straight, we do the bow pose, or we bring the legs like this up from backwards, like in Natrajasana. That is what? From our hip bone joint, if we take the leg back straight, that is hip extension. And from the hip bone joint, if we bring the leg straight in front, this is hip flexion. For example, this is just our leg. If we imagine, if you bring it back, hip extension. If you bring it in front, hip flexion. So in the hip extension movement, we are engaging our hamstrings along with the maximus muscle on our buttocks, that is gluteus muscle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the hip extension movement, many postures like Dhanurasana, bow pose, Natarajasana, Lord Shiva dancing pose are being present. Even in the hip extension movement, we have the bridge pose, even where we can extend our, when we lift our pelvic up, we can contract our hamstrings as well the glutes maximus muscles on the buttock. Now, abduction of the hip bone joint. So what is the abduction movement of the hip bone joint? Can you tell me first?
Away from the medial part of your body.
Yes. So that is away when we bring the leg away from the medial part of the body, where we engage the rest of the glutes muscle, that is glutes medius and glutes minimus are the major group of muscles from specific muscles in our legs, which allows the abduction movement in our hip bone joint. So the glutes medius and the glutes minimus are the major group of muscles which starts in our pelvic, which starts or originates from our pelvic and end up in our femur. So origin from pelvic and insertion in our femur bone is
Your voice is breaking.
Hello, I'm audible now? Hello?
Your voice is breaking and sometimes you're freezing.
No idea, but I hope it is working now. Is it working now?
Now I can hear you.
The Wi-Fi is working well as well from my side, but I don't know. Is it still freezing?
No, for now I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay. So we have this muscles in the hip abduction movement where we practice hip abduction when we take the distance in between our legs in Prasarit Padottanasana, Trikonasana, Virabhadrasana, and similar postures alongside that. Many hip abduction movements we do practice. Now we have the next number 4. Now I will erase first these things. Deflection, extension, abduction, and now we will see adduction movement. What is the hip adduction movement? To bring our leg
towards the medial side.
midline. So what are the muscles? Here it will be adductor longus muscle, the adductor group of muscles, the adductor magnus muscle, along with adductor brevis muscle. So all the adductor group of muscles will be responsible for the adduction of the hip joint, where this adductor group of muscles also start from the pelvic and it also ends in our femur.
The
Yes?
view is frozen.
Still frozen.
Okay, now just now it came back up again. It's okay.
Okay, now I will just switch off my. Now is it working now?
Just no view now.
Am I audible clearly now?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have switched off my Wi-Fi connection now. I hope my data will work. So like in a smooth flow. So we have this adductors group of muscle with longus means long muscle, magnus means large muscle, and brevis means short muscle. These adductors muscles are found in our thigh, where it originates from our pelvic and it ends in our femur bone. So these are the adductor group of muscles here responsible for the adduction of the hip joint. That means to bring the leg closer in the Samasthiti as well as in the eagle pose, like this kind of postures as well as the cow face postures. So like in this kind of posture, when we try to bring our legs toward the midline, that is what the adduction movement we do practice from the hip bone joint. Okay, voice is clear, right? Let me know if it is still freezing. Now,
For now, it's okay.
yeah, we have medial rotation of the hip bone joint. Medial rotation means which kind of rotation here?
Medial rotation is the inward rotation.
Yes, internal rotation. So where which muscles will get engaged? Glutes medial and glutes minimus. Again, these two muscles will be getting engaged and will be helpful to rotate our legs inside internally or medially from the hip bone joint. The glutes medius along with the glutes minimus, which will start from the pelvic and end up in our femur. These two muscles will be helpful in the medial rotation movement of our hip bone joint. So this is internal. And what is the next one? Lateral rotation.
Lateral
What is it?
rotation.
Yeah.
Lateral is external rotation.
Yeah. So how we rotate our leg laterally or externally, there are some muscles like pectineus muscle and piriformis muscle are the deep muscles inside above in the top of our thigh. Just next to the psoas muscle, we have this pectineus and the piriformis along these two muscles, which allows the lateral rotation of our hip bone joint. These are the two muscle groups which also start from the pelvic and end up in our femur. So pelvic to femur is their starting and ending point of these two muscles as well. So most of the muscles you see are originating from the pelvic, which is the stationary part, but which these muscles, when it inserts into the femur, which is the non-stationary part, that is what we can move. And by moving the femur bone, we can engage those muscles on the certain joints. Okay. Hope the video is not freezing anymore.
For now, it's okay.
Yep. But at my screen, it is a bit lagging. The video is lagging on my screen a little bit.
So
I
it's
was
like,
asking.
no, it's like,
Yeah.
like it goes okay, okay, okay. And then some moments it would lag and then okay again.
Okay. So it is okay, the video. It is not good at all. The video quality is okay today.
Yeah. Just okay, not good, not perfect.
Okay. Now
Your
what can I say?
your videos are usually perfect connection, but today is a little bit, but it's okay. You can manage. You know, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's even my end. You know, it's you never know. It can be my end as well.
Now I have using my data. It's good here in India. It's 4G. Currently, I am using a 4G data. So maybe in future I will have 5G next year. So now we will work with our 4G network and we will proceed further. Okay, can I raise it?
Yes, you can.
Can you tell me the kinds of actions about hip bone joint? What we have seen, what are?
So we've got 6 in total. We've got flexion, extension,
Yes.
abduction, adduction, medial rotation, and lateral rotation.
That's it. So this is what all the ball and socket joint actions in all the axes. That means in x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Now we have the next number 5. This is the knee joint. The knee joint. So what is the first action of the knee joint? The
Flexion.
knee flexion movement. So in the knee flexion movement, which are those muscles which get engaged again? You tell me the names of these 3 hamstrings.
So the 3 hamstrings that we have is semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and biceps femoris.
And where does this originate?
The hamstring muscle originates from the pelvis.
And
No, from the hip and the pelvis.
yes, so from the pelvic, it originates. On the hip, we have the pelvic bone, and it ends in our tibia and our femur joint. So our hamstrings are the long stretched muscles which will originate on the pelvic and the femur, and it will end up in our tibia and our fibula joint.
Yeah.
So where our tibia and fibula are will present in our lower part of the leg, it will end up there. So these are your hamstrings. So how is the knee flexion movement? When you bend your knee, okay, you are not stretching your hamstrings. I am saying the hamstrings are used to allow the flexion movement of your knee. The knee joint, the knee flexion movement is not here to stretch your hamstrings, but the hamstrings are allowing the flexion movement of our knee joint. Okay. So to stretch our hamstrings, we need to do the flexion movement of our hip. Okay. Now, the knee extension movement, the next. What is the knee extension movement? Can you tell me the 4 muscles of the quadriceps?
The quadricep is rectus femoris,
Yes.
vastus lateralis,
Yes.
vastus medialis, and vastus intermedius. Yeah.
So vastus lateralis, then intermediate and medial. So from the lateral side, then in the mid and in the medial side. So that is the lateral side of our leg. And in between our lateral side and in between our medial side, we have intermediate. These are the 4 group of quadriceps muscle groups which allows our knee extension movement. So when you will stretch your leg from the knee joint, when you will stretch your leg, that time you will engage your quadriceps. How to engage your quads or contract your quads? That is when you will do knee extension movement. Now, clear up to here?
Yeah.
The next is medial rotation of the knee. So, number 8. the medial rotation of our knee. In the medial rotation of our knee, which joints are getting engaged? We have one small muscle which gets engaged. That muscle is known as popliteus muscle. That muscle is known as, I will write the name, popliteus muscle along with the sartorius muscle. So here, popliteus muscle and the sartorius muscle. These popliteus muscles and the sartorius muscles, it will start from the femur and will end up in our tibia. So starting from the femur to our tibia bone is your popliteus muscle, where your sartorius muscles is starting from the pelvic and will end up in our tibia. Sartorius muscle we have drawn. How is the sartorius muscle? If you will see the diagram in of your leg, the muscles like this, which we have drawn like this, the muscle. This is our sartorius muscle. When we
Yeah,
have seen our
I
leg,
know sartorius, but popliteus, I don't know.
popliteus muscle is also here from the femur to our tibia. So from the femur to the tibial bone, we have a small muscle just next to the sartorius
Okay.
towards the medial side. Then we have our kneecap. Now, the medial rotation and lateral rotation of the knee. In the lateral rotation of our knee, which is the muscle which is more helpful? Bicep femoris. Where is the bicep femoris muscle?
Bicep
In
femoris
our
is in the hamstring.
This muscle will allow to help our knee externally. So in our hamstring in the center, we have the bicep femoris muscle with the two head will allow our knee joint to rotate externally. That's it. Are the four basic movements of our knee joint. So flexion, extension, internal rotation, and external rotation movement. Okay, clear?
Mm-hmm.
Written down the?
So I want to ask you a question. So with the medial
Yes.
rotation, let's say in Pandasana, when we bring the leg in, is that classed as medial rotation for the knee?
In which asana?
Lotus Pandasana.
Yes, in the medial rotation. We
So what would be
bring it. So
lateral,
medial rotation.
what would be lateral rotation?
What would lateral rotation is a warm-up exercise. Lateral rotation is the warm-up exercise, like we have sitting kneeling posture of our knee joint, where we can help rotate our knee laterally. I can show like some lateral exercise here behind of our knee. Wait a second. So if you see here, can you see me? So this
Yeah.
is what if we bend and we try to rotate the knee laterally, or if
Okay.
can you see me when I will sit here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, so when we move this knee outside laterally, the kneecap, this is
Yeah.
lateral rotation. This is Pavan Muktasana series. This is internal rotation.
Yeah.
So this movement is helpful even while lateral rotation is being used in Mandukasana or frog pose. So when we laterally extend our knee, so in the frog posture, if we bring out our knee likewise, and then
Yeah.
we lie down here. That is what the stretch in our knee joint and in our hip bone joint. Will not demonstrate here perfectly, as you can will not see it clearly due to the
But
camera.
understand, yes, thank you.
So we have these things. Now, we will see the four basic ligaments which connects our knee as well. I will give you the four basic ligaments of the knee. So what are the ligaments for the knee? The ligaments of the knee are medial collateral ligament, that is connected with our knee. Then we have lateral collateral ligament. Please note it down these things. We have anterior cruciate ligament. And we have posterior cruciate ligament. So these are the ligaments of the knee which hold up our patella. Patella is our knee cap, the bone which is in the center of these four ligaments. From the four corners, we have these ligaments. So if we consider here, if you have seen this knee joint, if this is your kneecap, then from the lateral side, this is the lateral ligament. So this will be your lateral side, L, lateral collateral ligament, LCL. This is the medial side. That means this is your body and this is your medial side. So this will be your medial collateral ligament, where you will have the next, the posterior side as well as the anterior side. So the posterior and anterior side are as well these ligaments which connect our kneecap. So to the lateral side and to the medial side are these ligaments which will connect to our femur bone and which will connect to our tibia and fibula bone, these ligaments. But our kneecap is not connected directly to this bone. This kneecap is connected with the help of ligaments to this bone. Okay?
Yeah.
When we will have a knee injury or the ligament injury of our knee, then it will take a long time for recovery. The injury of our muscle takes a short period of time for recovery. The injury of our bones takes more time than the muscle for recovery, and the injury of our ligament takes much more time for the recovery than our muscle bones. So our muscles can heal faster, but bone takes approximately 3 to 4 weeks. Even we have a mild hair crack. Okay. Then next we will see the ankle joint. The number 6, write it down. Ankle joint. What are the movements of this ankle? Movement of the ankle joint. Dorsiflexion movement. What does it mean? Dorsiflexion and
Or
plantaflexion.
plantar flexion when we put the foot. Wait a minute. Plantar
When
and dorsal. When we put it, that's dorsal, right? Dorsal down.
this is dorsi up and planta is down from the ankle.
Yeah.
Okay. So dorsiflexion, which muscles responsible? Tibialis anterior. So on the tibial bone in the front, if you will see, there is a tibialis anterior muscle drawn in our note that is helpful for the dorsiflexion. But in the plantaflexion movement, what muscle is responsible? We have the soleus muscle and gastrocnemius muscles on our calf. Do you found these muscles? The gastrocnemius two muscles on our calf at the back, two big muscles, and
Yeah.
the soleus muscles as well next to the gastrocnemius at the side will be helpful for the plantaflexion. These two muscles at the back, gastrocnemius, will be getting engaged along with soleus. What else are the movements of the ankle? We have inversion of the ankle
And
and
eversion.
what does it mean, inversion?
Inversion when the ankle goes in, and eversion when the ankle goes out.
In the inversion, we again have the tibialis posterior muscle this time, as well as we have the tibialis anterior muscle. So both the tibialis anterior side and the posterior side muscles, that means in the front side and the back side muscles get engaged in the inversion of our ankle, whereas in the eversion of our ankle, we have the peroneus group of muscles. Peroneus group of muscles are at the back mostly. You will find where we have peroneus longest muscle, the long muscle in the front as well. You will find some peroneus in the lower leg. Brevis muscle, the short muscle. So we have these two peroneus group of muscles which allows the eversion movement from the ankle joint. These are the four simple movements of our ankle joint. Dorsiflexion, plantarflexion, inversion, and eversion. All these movements, whatever we have studied today for our legs, or all the movements, whatever we have studied for our arms yesterday, the musculoskeletal movements with the muscle engagement are helpful if you have practiced Pawan Muktasan series 1, that is the Hatha Yoga series, for the warm-up of our joints. If we know these movements in the Pawan Muktasan series 1, we will apply, or we will be able to apply all these movements and the muscle engagement in rest of the asanas. For example, talking about the wrist joint. So this is what the dorsiflexion, and this one is palmar flexion in the wrist. So where do you apply the dorsiflexion of the wrist and palmar flexion of the wrist? That in Pawan Muktasan series you have to apply. After applying in Pawan Muktasan series, you will also know when you will apply in the asanas. Taking anything. So in certain asanas, there is not only one joint. We engaged most of the muscles and most of the joints. So consider warrior 1, warrior 2, Dhanurasana, bow pose or lotus pose, Padmasana, where we don't only bend our knees and keep it on our thighs, but also there is a stretch in our ankles. Also there is a plantar flexion with our ankles with one leg. So the engaged muscle is our gastrocnemius and the soleus. So this also gets built. So if you will do more lotus posture, you will get also more bigger calf. So you contract your calf muscle as well in your lotus, where this plantar flexion also occurs. You will get a toning and a proper builded calf in the cross leg as well. So hope you understood this and the concepts are clear.
I want to see the last one for the eversion. This proneus longus activates, and what else? And proneus brevis. Okay.
Brevis means short, longus means long.
Okay.
So eversion movement. When you do eversion movement, can you tell me?
Eversion when we take the foot in.
In which? No, eversion, not inversion.
Eversion when we take it out, upwards.
So in which posture when we take it out?
Baddha Konasana.
But the Konasana, you mean the butterfly pose?
Yeah.
We take it in or out?
When we open our soles out, so the soles are facing the ceiling.
The soles are facing the ceiling, but from the ankle joint, do we move our leg like this outside from the ankle joint? We just open the soles up.
So which
So
one would
like,
be? So which one would be for eversion then?
what you do in triangle pose? Do we take our foot outside, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 90-degree outside,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we turn and flex, do the lateral flexion at one side? So
Yeah. So okay. So that means in the triangle. In the triangle.
eversion.
In the triangle, the front leg is eversion
Yeah,
because the foot is 90 degrees. Okay.
the front leg is neutral. The front leg is neutral. Wait.
The back leg, because the back leg is 90 degrees. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the back leg is neutral. Yes. The leg in the front is outside. We have to it with the arrangement of our pelvic. And in warrior one, we make it in 45 degrees, right? The back leg.
Correct.
So that 45 degree will indicate the inversion side
Yeah.
with the back leg. But pelvic is in front. So first thrust is on our pelvic. That will keep our front leg in neutral position. There is no movement in the front ankle, just the movement in our back ankle in the warrior one due to the arrangement of our pelvic. So first important part in all these joints to focus is our pelvic. If first focus is on the pelvic, then the next joint and then the next muscles getting engaged in certain asanas, depending upon the arrangement and the alignment of the pelvic. Okay. I think the voice is clear and audible. So we will end the class now. Anything you want to add?
No, it's just a lot of things to remember.
No. Don't worry about it.
No,
You don't have to remember.
I want to remember.
You can remember, but you have to take some time. Please don't try to remember all these things in 1 month. You take your time for the couple of months, not on the paper. Don't read on the paper. You just try to practice with the asana and just check if you are doing this flexion, extension, inversion, eversion, in which posture, which muscle is getting engaged. That practical knowledge will help you to write your own book of
Yeah.
yoga anatomy. This theoretical knowledge, whiteboard knowledge, or manual knowledge, whatever you will have, this will just keep it in our mind. But practical knowledge will only allow you to write your own notes, make a fresh note with your own
Yeah.
practical knowledge. Yeah. Let us chant Om one time to end up this class.
Okay.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aishan, as well.
One more
Yes.
question. The
Yes.
little the mantra that you chant before the class, what is the name again of that mantra?
The name of that mantra is Pavaman mantra, the mantra for purification. I always chant the same mantra because I want you to remember at the end of your course the mantra which you chant. So I always will chant the same mantra.
Can you write it down, the name Pavanam? Is it
So
Pavanam?
this mantra name, wait, I will write it in this corner. Okay, can you see this corner?
Yeah.
P-A-W-A, Pavaman. Can you see?
Yeah.
Pawamana.
Yeah.
So we have this Pavamana mantra. The mantra of purification, where it says, has the 3 lines.
Thank
to
you.
bring, yep, thank you so much. So we see you tomorrow.
Thank
I
you
will
so
end
much.
up the class.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.